Have you ever sat in silence and asked yourself why life feels like it's stuck on repeat? Why the same problems keep showing up, the same kind of people walk in and out of your life, and no matter how much you try, it feels like you're just spinning your wheels? You push harder, you try to be more positive, you read books, watch videos, listen to all the podcasts telling you to hustle and grind and think good thoughts, but still, something doesn't change. Something deeper inside you resists. And maybe, for a long time, you thought the problem was you, that you just didn't have what it takes, that you weren't lucky enough, smart enough, disciplined enough. But what if none of that was true? What if the only thing keeping you stuck was a quiet, invisible program running in the background of your mind? A belief, planted somewhere in your past, reinforced every day without your awareness. And what if, by understanding how that belief works, how it forms, and how it controls your reality, you could change everything? That's not just motivational talk. That's neuroscience. That's psychology. And believe it or not, that's quantum theory. All coming together to explain one simple truth. Your belief system is not just influencing your life, it is creating it. You are not responding to reality. You are responding to your perception of it. And that perception is shaped by belief. Every decision you make, every fear you hold, every risk you avoid or take, all of it starts in belief. And most of the time, those beliefs aren't even yours. They come from childhood, from trauma, from school, from parents, religion, culture, media. They're handed to you before you're even old enough to choose. So you grow up thinking certain things are facts, when in reality, they're just beliefs that went unchallenged for too long. You believe you're not good with money. You believe you're unworthy of love. You believe you're not smart or strong or attractive. And guess what? Your brain starts wiring itself around those beliefs. Neurons fire in patterns. Synapses lock in. Your body reacts to those beliefs as if they were absolute truths. And then you wonder why you keep experiencing the same emotional pain, the same broken relationships, the same lost opportunities. It's not life punishing you. It's belief repeating itself. Let's go deeper. Your brain is like a prediction machine. It takes what you believe, compares it to what's happening around you, and tries to match it. It's trying to keep you safe, predictable, familiar. So if you have a belief that people will always leave you, your brain will scan every social interaction looking for clues to confirm that. It will filter out all the evidence that people care, that they're loyal, that they want to stay. It will magnify the tiniest rejection and ignore the deepest loyalty. That's not because you're broken. That's because your brain is doing what it was designed to do: protect the beliefs it already holds. And this is where psychology and neuroscience get deeply real. Because unless you become conscious of those beliefs, unless you pause and examine them, they will keep shaping your actions, your thoughts, your relationships, your health, and your reality. That's how powerful they are. But here's the good news. Your beliefs are not fixed. They are not written in stone. Thanks to neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change itself, you can rewire them. You can interrupt those patterns. You can literally sculpt new networks in your brain. And as those networks form, something incredible starts to happen. You begin to experience life differently. Not because the world changed, but because your lens did. The same world feels safer. People feel kinder. You feel more capable. You act with more courage. And all of that begins with belief. But belief doesn't just live in the brain. This is where quantum theory takes the conversation to a whole new level. Quantum physics has shown us that at the smallest levels of reality, nothing is truly solid or fixed until it is observed. Electrons exist in multiple places at once. Particles respond to the observer. Energy collapses into matter based on attention and expectation. That's not science fiction, that's quantum science. And what does that mean for you? It means your consciousness, your awareness, your focus, your belief has a direct relationship with the reality you experience. You are not separate from the universe, you are part of the equation. And when you believe something deeply enough, not just with your mind, but with your body, your emotions, your energy, you begin to collapse new possibilities into your life. You begin to shift the timeline. This is why people who change their beliefs at a core level often feel like their entire world shifts. They lose toxic relationships. They find new paths. They attract opportunities. It's not random, it's quantum. Their new beliefs align them with a different version of reality, one that was always possible, but invisible until belief made it visible. So here's the truth, and it might shake you a little. You are not your past. You are not your trauma. You are not your failures. You are not your current circumstances. You are the product of the beliefs you've accepted, and the future you experience will be the product of the beliefs you choose. That means power is already inside you. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need the willingness to look inward, to question the beliefs that no longer serve you, and to replace them with ones that do. That takes courage. That takes time. That takes patience, but it's possible. In fact, it's inevitable if you commit to it. And once you do, once you shift your beliefs from limitation to possibility, from fear to faith, from lack to abundance, your entire energy changes. Your brain lights up differently. Your body releases stress. Your relationships improve. You start walking through life with a quiet sense of power, not because life got easier, but because you stopped believing it had to be.
So let's talk about how belief actually works under the surface, how it's built, where it hides, and why it holds so much power over your life even when you don't realize it's there. Because once you understand the architecture of belief, you don't just see your mind differently. You start to see reality differently too. You begin to see that most of the things you've taken as unchangeable facts about yourself were never facts at all. They were conclusions your brain came to under pressure. Beliefs form in moments when you're scared, when you're uncertain, when you're trying to make sense of a world that feels too big or too fast or too unpredictable. A child who's told they're not smart doesn't question it, they internalize it. A teenager who's left out doesn't say, "They just didn't notice me." They say, "I must not be worthy." These stories get locked into your nervous system. They become neural patterns, emotional memories, energetic imprints. And as you grow older, you don't even remember why you think the way you do, you just think that's who you are. But it's not who you are. It's who you learned to be. And anything learned can be unlearned. Your brain is not trying to hurt you when it creates limiting beliefs. It's trying to protect you. It's trying to keep you safe by avoiding pain, avoiding risk, avoiding rejection. But the problem is that safety becomes a cage. Beliefs that were meant to shield you start to limit you. They become your comfort zone. And the comfort zone isn't comfortable, it's just familiar. That's why people stay in bad relationships. That's why they stay in jobs that drain them. That's why they never speak up, never take the leap, never allow themselves to be fully seen. Not because they don't want to grow, but because their beliefs tell them growth is dangerous. Their beliefs whisper, "What if you fail? What if you're laughed at? What if you lose everything?" And those questions feel so real, so terrifying, that they choose the known pain over the unknown possibility. This is not laziness, this is survival. But here's what neuroscience teaches us. Your brain can adapt, it can rewire, it can learn to feel safe in new experiences. It can build new belief systems that support your highest self instead of protecting your wounded self. And the moment you start feeding it new signals through thought, emotion, and repetition, it starts building new patterns. That's when belief becomes transformation. But let's be real, changing a belief isn't as simple as just thinking a new thought. You can't just wake up one morning and say, "I believe I'm worthy," and expect your whole life to change. Because belief isn't just intellectual, it's emotional, it's somatic, It's subconscious. You have to feel the belief. You have to embody it. And that takes time. That takes presence. It takes repetition, consistency, and most of all, safety. You have to show your nervous system that the new belief is safe to hold, that it's safe to succeed, that it's safe to be loved, that it's safe to stand out. Because if your old belief was tied to survival, if it told you to stay small to stay safe, then breaking free from it will feel scary at first. Your body might resist, your emotions might flare, your old patterns might try to pull you back. But that's not failure, that's healing, that's rewiring, that's your brain learning a new way of being. And every time you choose the new belief, even if it feels unfamiliar, even if it's just a whisper, you make it stronger. You show your brain, your body, your field that this is who I am now. This is what I stand for now. This is what I deserve now. And the universe listens. Not because it's judging or rewarding you, but because it's responding to the signal you're sending. You are the signal. You are the sender and the receiver. And when your belief aligns with your truth, with your purpose, with your power, reality bends. Doors open, paths clear, people show up, ideas download, energy flows, and life becomes not a fight, but a dance. This is the psychology of belief. This is the quantum truth behind your transformation. You are not waiting for permission. You are not waiting for the world to change. You are learning how to change from within. And that is the most powerful shift you can ever make. It doesn't require a perfect plan. It doesn't require 10 steps. It requires awareness, honesty, commitment, and belief. The kind of belief that grows roots. The kind of belief that says, even if I've never seen it, I can still choose it. Even if no one else believes in me, I can believe in myself. Even if the past was full of pain, the future can still be full of power. And when you say that, not just with your words, but with your thoughts, your choices, your emotions, you become unstoppable. Because you're no longer a victim of old programming. You are the creator of new potential, the author of a new timeline, the embodiment of a new possibility. And that's not just self-help. That's science. That's spirit. That's energy in motion. That's who you truly are underneath the fear, the doubt, the noise. A powerful, conscious being learning how to believe again. Not based on what the world has told you, but based on what your soul already knows.
Now that you understand the power of belief and how it shapes your inner world, the real question becomes, what are you going to do with it? Because knowing that belief controls reality is one thing, but living from that truth, that takes courage. That takes practice. It means waking up every day and choosing to become aware of the thoughts you used to let run wild. It means interrupting the cycles you once called normal. It means deciding in real time that you are no longer going to build your future based on the pain of your past. It means breaking up with old stories. Stories that said you weren't good enough. Stories that made you shrink yourself to be accepted. Stories that convinced you success was for other people. Those stories may have been comfortable, familiar, safe, but they were never true. And deep down, a part of you always knew it. A part of you always whispered, "There's more." And that part of you, that's the part we're unlocking now. The part that's been waiting, patiently, silently, for you to remember who you are beneath the programming. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you were before the world told you who to be. The truth is, belief isn't just something you have, it's something you are. It's not just a thought in your mind, it's a frequency in your field. And that frequency is communicating with the world around you, constantly, like a signal. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every choice you make, those are all signals. They're either reinforcing your old belief system or building a new one.
And the more consistent your signals become, the more reality begins to reflect them. Because belief, at its core, is repetition. The brain doesn't care if a belief is true or false, it only cares how often it hears it. That's why you must become the loudest voice in your own mind. You must repeat the new truth so often that your brain has no choice but to accept it, not as fantasy, but as fact, not as a dream, but as a reality. Because when your belief becomes your new baseline, when it's no longer something you're reaching for, but something you're rooted in, everything changes. Think about what would happen if, instead of asking, "What if I fail?" you started asking, "What if it works?" Think about what would happen if, instead of doubting your worth, you assumed your value. What if you stopped proving and started embodying? What if your self-talk became your superpower? That's not delusion, that's direction. That's taking back control of the narrative. Because here's the raw truth. Someone, somewhere, is building a beautiful life with fewer resources than you, fewer connections than you, less experience than you. The only difference, they believed. Not because it was easy, not because they were fearless, but because they chose belief in the face of fear. That's all it takes. One decision made over and over again to believe in something higher, something greater, something more aligned with who you really are. And when you do that, not just once, but every day, you start to create momentum. You stop waiting for evidence and start becoming the evidence. You stop looking for signs and start being the sign. You become the living proof that change is possible. This isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's not about forcing positivity. It's about showing up even when it's hard. It's about choosing belief when your circumstances tell you otherwise. Because real power isn't about what you do when life is easy. It's about what you do when everything feels uncertain. That's where belief is built, in the dark, in the quiet, in the moments no one sees. And that's why the transformation is real. Because it wasn't handed to you. You earned it. You created it. You rewrote your brain. You recalibrated your energy. You stood up to the voice in your head that told you to quit, and you said, "Not this time." And with every small choice, every new action, every shift in perspective, you stepped into a new version of yourself. One that wasn't waiting for the world to change. One that wasn't hoping for a miracle. One that became the miracle. And now you know, belief isn't just the beginning, it's the whole journey. It's the lens through which you see the world, the foundation upon which your thoughts rest, the engine that drives your behavior, and the magnet that pulls your future toward you. When you understand this deeply, you realize something wild. You were never powerless. You were just disconnected from the power you always had. And now that connection is restored. Now the choice is yours. Will you keep living from old patterns, or will you rise into the version of you that believes without doubt, acts without fear, loves without needing permission, and lives as if the universe is conspiring in your favor? Because it is. It always was. It was just waiting for you to catch up, to feel it, to trust it, to believe in it fully enough that it begins to move mountains in response. Let this be your reminder that you're not here by accident. You didn't stumble across these words randomly. You are here because your soul is ready, ready to wake up, ready to lead, ready to write a new story and live it unapologetically. The version of you who believed in lack, in shame, in fear, served a purpose. But that version is complete. Now, the new you begins. The one who believes deeply, the one who acts boldly, the one who no longer plays small to make others comfortable, the one who finally understands the universe doesn't respond to who you were, it responds to who you are being now. And if you are being belief, if you are being certainty, love, power, clarity, then everything you've ever wanted is already moving toward you. Not because you're perfect, but because you finally remembered you're powerful. So as you walk back into your life after hearing this, don't just think about belief, live it, practice it, teach it to yourself in the moments you want to give up. Remind yourself that the old way isn't the only way. Show your brain, your body, and your field that something new is possible. Speak it, feel it, move with it. Let your belief be louder than your fear. Let it be stronger than your excuses. Let it carry you through doubt, through delay, through the discomfort of becoming. Because what's waiting on the other side is more than just a new mindset. It's a new reality. One you built, one that was always waiting, one that finally became real the moment you believed.